Hi guys. Today we'll study about the unit 2 of business research methodology. For the unit for the semester 6 students for Delhi University. Even the other students who are studying the same subjects can refer to this video. I hope this will add to your knowledge. So let's start. So unit 2 starts from the chapter 4 of HK Dangi book, and so let's start with the video. So topic of the video is research design, its basic meaning, definition, types, and we'll today even start with the primary data collection and one of its method called case study. So let's start. So research design is basically the framework or structure in which the collection, measurement, and the analysis of data is constituted. So also I want to mention that I have made some basic one pages for this particular unit that will consider at the end of the very video. So stay tuned till last so that you can understand what all you need to remember for the exam purpose for this particular chapter and for this particular topic, right? So research design is basically the framework or the structure in which the collection, measurement, and the analysis of data is constituted. It mainly constitutes the clearly stated research problem, basically the hypothesis and the issue we are going to research about, the procedures and the techniques of data collection, population to be studied, and the methods to be used to analyze and process such data. So basically the research design tells us about what basically we are going to do, how it we are going to perform our research, and when it is to be done, and by what methods and techniques we are going to use, right? So also the why question is being answered here, right, in the research design. The researcher should also consider the cost and time constraint while deciding the research design. So here are some of the key characteristics of the research design that is very important. So first is the neutrality. The results projected in the research design should be free from bias and it should be neutral. To understand you understand the opinion on the finally evaluated scores and conclusion from the multiple individuals, and consider those who agree with the derived result, right? So it should be neutral and it should be free from bias, free from the any kind of discrimination. Okay, so it should be neutral, and the neutrality is the first main characteristics of the research design, right? So second is the reliability. So if the research is being conducted regularly, the researcher involved expects similar kind of results to be calculated every time. Okay, so reliability is basically the generalization of the results. If we are doing research on any particular topic, say for the whole, this chapter will consider example of satisfaction's impact of job satisfaction on performance of the employee, right? So here's the example. This is the example we'll consider for the whole of the chapter for understanding purpose, right? So reliability in this example, as per this example, is that if we are doing research on particular employees of the particular company, then if we are doing it on, say, a group of 20 employees, it should be reliable for other 100 employees as well. Then we can say that the reliability principle is being followed, right? So third is the validity principle. So there are multiple measuring tools available for research design, but a valid measuring tools are those which help the researcher in gauging the results according to the objectives of the research and nothing else, right? So if we are doing this research on such a topic like impact of job dissatisfaction on the performance of the employee, then the validity says that this the all the tools we are using, all the validity tools the researcher is doing, that should only impact these such variables of such research, and not the other. It means that the direction of the research is right, and the reliability says that it expects the generalizations of the results, right? So fourth is the generalization. Only the outcome of the research design should apply to the population and just not just to the restricted sample. It is the one of the main key characteristics of research design, and from the generalization only the other three characteristics is being taken out, right? So next topic is our types of research design. Basically, there are three categories of research design, being the exploratory, the descriptive, and the explanatory. Exploratory may will consider the primary data, secondary data. Descriptive may longitudinal studies, cross-sectional and panel studies. Exploratory may experimental, right? So today we'll study about the exploratory primary data case study. Okay. So let's start with the exploratory research design. So this research design focus on the discovery of new concepts or the ideas. It focuses on the formulation of a problem statement or the hypothesis which is operational in reality, right? So this is the one of the example you can read. So exploratory design can be conducted by using various methods like secondary data analysis and the primary data analysis. So these two are right here. We'll study about primary data analysis first, and then we'll jump right up to the secondary data analysis. So here's the primary data analysis. Primary data analysis means the data is collected by the researchers themselves for a specific research problem. As the word suggests, primary, we all know that primary data is something done with the very basic level, and the researcher does the collect the responses or the data right from the grassroots level, right? It is the original data source. Of course, it is the original, and the quality of such data is very high, which means the data is collected first hand by the researcher for a specific research purpose or the project. It is of course quite expensive and time consuming as compared to the secondary data collection. Data is highly reliable as it is collected from the origin point. There is no biasness, of course. From the point of view of the respondents, biasness can be there from the point of view of the researcher. The sources of primary data are usually chosen and tailored specifically to meet the demands or the requirement of the particular research of such researcher only, right? So basically the primary data collected is generally projected to the conclusion of such a research topic that is conducted by that particular researcher only, and not with the point of view of other research. It can be, if it is doing the job, it is good, but basically it is fulfilling the demands of the requirements of the particular research project or the researcher only. So also, before choosing a data collection source, the aim of the researcher and the target population need to be identified. For example, in such a the example we took right here about the job satisfaction and the impact of job satisfaction on the performance of the employee, then the researcher need to identify the group of employees he want to collect data from. Of course, this here selecting the group of employees can be done by the researcher himself, and the biasness can be included right here from the beginning only. But it is important to target a group of people, small group of people, rather than the whole population, for the easiness of the results and uh, you know uh, saving the time and the cost, right? So it needs to be identified. For example, we chose the group of 20 employees out of 120, right? Okay, so in the group of 20 we chose, the primary data is reliable, original and accurate as it is obtained from the source directly. So the researcher will go to these 20 employees to collect the data, right? So the benefit of the primary data is that it is related to the research only. Number one, it is related to the research only under the study, which makes the data specific and prescribes for the study only. The quality of data is also assured as it is directly collected by the researcher. The reliability and the accuracy is very high. This is the main advantage of the primary data as compared to the secondary data source. Sometimes the additional data can be collected during the study period. It is best method to know the feelings, perceptions, beliefs and behaviors of then the reactions of the people. It is collected in real time basis, which removes the problem of time lag between collection and application. It is very important, primary source data, right? But the major limitation is of course the cost in terms of time as well as in the money. So in the primary method, it is the time consumption is very high, and the relatively it is very expensive method. The researcher has to determine how, when and which method need to be used to collect the data. We discussed this in very beginning of this topic. Sometimes the purpose of research is defeated as the collection consumes a lot of time. this is the main problem with this kind of data collection method. This method requires trained moderators or interviewers to observe and data under study. This will study in one of the methods where we talk about interview method, or trained moderators are there in the focus groups. So this is where these people come into play. The data collection is difficult task due to the busy schedules of the people under study, of course. Sometimes the respondent may give fake and socially acceptable and sweet answers just to try to cover up the reality. This is the where the biasness from the end of respondents come into play. Primary data collection can be collected in several ways. Some of the ways are right here: case studies, focus groups, observation, interviews, and surveys. These five we'll study in detail. Number one we'll cover is case study. Case study is basically an in-depth investigation of a single individual, group, or an event to explore the causes of underlying principles. It can be analysis of a person, group, events, or decision periods, policies, etc. that are studied holistically. Holistically, they are studies by one or more methods. It aims to analyze the specific issues within the boundaries of specific environment, situation, and organization. Explanatory case studies aim to answer question of how and why. These two questions are answered with this approach. Case study answer the questions of how and why of research design, right? With the little control on the behalf of researcher over the occurrence of events, the type focus on phenomena within the context of real life situation. So this is the So in case study, a blend of both quantitative as well as qualitative data can be used to explore the real life situation in depth. It involves a detailed, holistic investigation and can utilize the range of different measurement techniques, and the histories and stories can be told about the companies and are also something that can be addressed and documented, not just the empirical data. So the benefits of the case studies are to enable the researcher to understand in detail the behavioral pattern of the concentrated unit. It also helps the researcher in formulating the relevant hypothesis along with the data, which may help them to test them. So hypothesis is something I talked about also in our previous video, that hypotheses are predetermined results that predetermined statement that is assumed or taken into consideration before doing any kind of research on the topic. For example, if we take the example of right here, job satisfaction ka impact on the performance of the employee, then here hypothesis is formed that if the job satisfaction of the employee is higher, then the performance of the employee will also be higher. This is not of course done randomly or in a haphazard manner. It is done by reading a lot of literature on that is available by other researchers, so that proper hypothesis is taken into consideration. Then the researcher will do its research about collecting the data and all, doing all that stuff to either meet this hypothesis correct, or stating the other result which is fulfilling its criteria, and giving right conclusions that this hypothesis is correct or not by the conclusion of this of its review, right? Review or the research he or she is conducting, right? So the this is the researchers help in formulating the relevant hypothesis along with the data that helped them. So this case study method helped them to form the hypothesis as well, right? It also enable the generalized knowledge to get richer information, and case study method helps a lot researcher in the task of constructing appropriate questionnaire or schedule for the set task require thorough knowledge of the concerning universe. They are also of immense value in taking the decisions regarding several management problems. Okay, so here are the disadvantages of the case study is that it is use of small group to gain the insights that may or may not be able to provide detailed investigation on that topic. The results of small groups may not be enough to meet the statistical significance. Hence, generalization of results is sometimes not possible, right? So, real information is not collected because of the subjectivity of the researcher. It consumes more time This will be there in every kind of method of primary distribution, because primary data is collected first hand, and it is time consuming task to do so, requires a lot of expenditure. Of course it is very expended very expensive method. The information gathered in such case studies often not comparable, as a small single unit is used for analysis. Okay, so here comes our end of the discussion of the case study method of primary collection of data, and I hope you get to know about everything right here. And in the next video we'll consider our topics to be the focus groups and observation. So stay tuned for the completion of this chapter, and like, share and subscribe to the channel, so that you get to know about every new video I post on my channel, so that you are getting benefited out of that. Also in the next very video I'll share with you all the short summary notes of this all topics we are covering, so that you are ready to go for the exams right well from the beginning only. Okay, so share with your friends, comment if you have any doubts, and like if you like this video. Okay, thank you so much.